Good morning, here's Kramer's Corner with the daily technical update. It is the 3rd of October and S&P was very muted yesterday, a little bit of dancing on the spots basically, but we are still in a downtrend, so no news there. Nasdaq 100 actually performed better with 0.8% up. Positive ending to the market, still below the 100 moving average, but it's rising, and I think we could see it's trying to move towards the 15,000, but we have the 21 and the 55 moving average coming down, so there's some overhead resistance, but a short-term uptrend there that maybe also can drag the S&P 500 a little bit higher. In Europe, we have DAX index that got hammered a bit yesterday, and this morning it's a little bit recovering, but not by much. We are actually down a couple of points. We are in a downtrend, but expect a lot of volatility here the next week or so. But as you can see here, also on the the weekly chart, we are in a downtrend where the 55 weekly moving average does add some support, and the 100 down here, but there's not really more strong support until around 14,675, 14,500 level. So that's it looks fairly gloomy for the European indices. Here we have AEX. That is also quite heavy, currently bouncing between 715 and 730. It is in a clear downtrend. A little bit stretched though, and we could maybe see short-term bounce if especially Nasdaq can drag the market a little bit higher, because we have ASML, for example, in the AEX index that could help a little bit if that one is bouncing. Belgian markets lower again after opening above the 35.51 level here yesterday, but we are looking at 34.64 support, and we are in a downtrend. If it takes out that support here, or it's not that strong a support really, but it's the June low, and of course that's where it turned around, so there's a little bit of support. But if it takes out that one, well, then we are looking at 32.50. Finally, on CAC, we have it's testing the 7,052 level here. It spiked down below a couple of times. It opened below this morning, and it's trying to get back above. But even if it gets back above and closes above, it will still be in a downtrend, and it really needs to go move above 7,300 to reverse that trend. So we are in a downtrend, and it's broken the lower rising trend line here, as you can see on the weekly chart. So it looks fairly gloomy, but the 55 and the 100, but especially the 55 moving average is giving some support, and it actually crossed over here some weeks ago. So a little bit of support though on that front. In the FX market, a lot of action has been going on. Here we have the euro-dollar cross that couldn't hold up yesterday. It was unfolding a correction, but it was caught short by sellers taking back control yesterday, dipping down below the 104.80-85 support level, and there is room down to around 104.30. Around that level. It's not a strong support, to be honest. We have to go further back and looking at levels around 102.40-50 level down here, where there's some support. However, if we're looking at the RSI, we are building a divergence at the moment, and that is something that should be observed. If we do this line here, we can see that the RSI values they're not lower here, where the market is lower, where your dollar is lower compared to here. So we actually have a divergence on balance in the market. This tells us that the strength of the selling is weakening, and we have it's basically being stretched, the downtrend. So I would be cautious being too short if it was me, but this is not advice. But I would be cautious being too short euro dollar because we could suddenly have a bounce higher that could take us up to 106. But again, it's not there yet. But there's a little bit of warning sign already. Euro sterling. still trying to recover a little bit towards the 87. Look out for that one. A cable is almost similar to euro dollar. It has also now made higher RSI values compared to about a week ago, but the cable values are lower, so we are now also seeing divergence here, meaning the downtrend is stretched, but there's room to support at 120 level here. If we go back, there's some support around that level, but I will be also here a little bit cautious, being too short at the moment, because it is stretched. There's a little bit of warning signal there. Dollar yen, on the other hand, is still climbing higher, forming this wedge-like pattern. It is not, hasn't broken out, and I don't think it might not break out until maybe until 152 possibly, where it's moving higher, and we can see that there's no strong resistance until around 152, just below 152, where we have the previous peak. But of course, market could change before that, and we also see here on the daily chart that there's divergence. The RSI values are not really supporting these higher levels here, but we should trust the trend, but look out for a break of the lower rising trend line there. Euro yen still range bound. We have Aussie yen that is totally collapsing after it's spiked higher. Now it's back again, 95.85, testing the lower rising trend line here. If it breaks below, closes below, well, and then we are looking at 93.50, 54, around that level. Then there's some support, and if it breaks that, well, then we can see a massive sell-off down to around 92 level, where there's some support again. Sterling yen still holding on above 118 support area here, but it is under pressure, and we also have RSI being in a negative sentiment after breaking below 40. So it is with a negative undertone, so we could see a drop lower, but it's still holding on. To the upper side, 184.40. Look out for support resistance there. And the move in Aussie yen is probably down to Aussie dollar trading lower towards the strong support around 61.85. We can see why it's over here, where for basically 2 weeks in a row, that was the strong support back here last year in Q3, Q4. And we are in a downtrend on the weekly, so it seems like almost a given. Again, no promises that Aussie dollar is dropping to that level. Finally, the dollar index moving higher. So the correction that was close to unfolding hasn't really materialized after the bounce yesterday, strong bounce. There's no divergence. The peaks here are confirming the uptrend, but it starts to look a little bit stressed. However, there is room up to 107.90 where there's strong resistance. Probably be stalling a little bit sooner than that because we have the upper part of the cloud here. However, RSI is in a bullish sentiment, a positive sentiment here on the weekly and on daily. So I think around 107.90 we could see that being tested. Moving on to gold spot, the decline seems to be continuing down to around 1800. I think maybe it will touch it, but I think it will bounce between now and 1800, and then we will see a correction up to around 1850, 1870 possibly, but it is really heavy at the moment. But you can see here on the weekly why it is such an important support. 1800. We also have the 200 weekly moving average coming up, adding some support here, so I think we will see a fairly strong bounce here in the next couple of days. We have silver that is actually much more heavy. After breaking below the 22.15, that level here, and now also below 21.26, which is not that strong support really. The next one is around 19.90, around 20, which is the low here of the uptrend. So it seems fairly heavy at the moment, so that's what you should look out for. We will get some corrections because it seems a little bit stressed, but the downtrend on short-term and medium-term are confirmed. Copper has followed silver lower, currently trading below the 362.70 support that has been key for quite some time, almost buying down to 354.50. And you can see here on the weekly chart why this support is so crucial. I mean, if we are broken below the lower rising trend line, the week is not done yet, so we still have time to move back above it, so it's not closed below. But if it does close below the rising trend line and below 354.50, well, then it looks fairly grim for copper. On the energy side, we have Brent crude oil taking out support at 91.80 level here, which was also the 38.2 retracement of the last leg up. I think we will see a move down to around 88, which is the 61.8 correction. I think we should expand a little bit so it's easier to see. Sorry about that. And there's some support here going back also from this line and this level here. So we are still in a bullish trend, but a correction is kicking in. Let's see if we can dip down there and then close above the upper rising trend line there. And then we have WTI still holding on above the support here at 88.20. So look out for that. If it closes below, well, then we are looking at 83.75. And a quick look at Henry Hub gas, natural gas, that got rejected at the $3 and is now in a correction move. So it's still caught in this range here between $2.50 and $3. Finally, on the US 10-year, it's moving higher. It's already surpassed or trading around the 200% of this minor correction here. So I think we should have a look at the longer-term picture. And here we have a chart going back to 2003. So what we have here, you can see that there's no resistance until 5.25, 5.20, 5.25, which is the peaks here, double top peaks here back in 2006, 2007. Something to look out for. There's really no resistance, and I think we will reach that very close to at least. All right, that's a long one again today. Sorry, and sorry about my rusty voice. We are entering the autumn period, so it has taken a toll on me. That's all for today. Happy trading, and talk to you again tomorrow.